So in the last video we talked about major and minor chords and how we know if a chord is major or minor. In this video we're going to talk about diminished chords and augmented chords, where they happen and what you can do to work with them. We were talking about thirds. A third is 4 semitones up from the note below it. So for example, 3 in C here, if we go up 1 semitone, 2, 3, 4, 4 semitones up, that's a major third, a bigger third. This makes our chord major. If we take, for example, the chord of D in the C major scale, we go up 3 semitones, 1, 2, 3 to get our third. That makes it a minor chord. That's what a major chord sounds like. That's what a minor chord sounds like. You'll notice on top of the third we have another note. We just go up another 2 notes in the scale. So E, F, G, F, G, A. We get then the 5th note above the root. We call it the 5th. And you'll notice something's going on here. This is also a third. And this is a third. This 1, 2, 3 is a minor third. And this 1, 2, 3, 4 is a major third. So actually, how we create chords is we stack thirds on top of each other. C, E, G, D, F, A, E, G, B. We're just moving up, skipping a note in the middle and going to the third note afterwards. If we have a major third in the bottom, we have a minor third on top in a major chord. If we have a minor third on the bottom, we have a major third on top. When this doesn't happen, we get a chord that sounds weird. We can either have 2 minor thirds, or we can have 2 major thirds. Let's listen to what 2 minor thirds on top of each other sound like. Very dissonant, suspenseful. Let's listen to what 2 major thirds on top of each other sound like. That's even more suspenseful. These chords have names. This one, with 2 minor thirds, is called a diminished chord. Diminished means made smaller. And what we've done is we've taken the size of a chord like this and just made it 1 smaller. So instead of a major and minor third making up the chord, we have 2 minor thirds, so it's smaller. This chord is called an augmented chord. Augmented means made bigger. And if we compare, this chord is bigger than our normal chord. So how do these 3 sound together? Well, this one at the end feels like it's not finished. It needs to go somewhere. And this one in the start also feels like it needs to go somewhere. We never end on a diminished or an augmented chord. We can go through them in a chord progression, but we don't end on them because it sounds like it just hangs there. So where do these chords occur? Well, the diminished chord occurs in every major scale on the 7th note. We have no augmented chords in the major scale, but we sometimes have them in the minor scale. Let's write in the A minor scale and have a look at what chords we have. So here I've filled in the A minor scale using all the white notes, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. And then I've filled in the thirds above, skipping a note in the middle and using the next white note, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and then skipping a note in the middle and using the next white notes, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. If you're confused about this, go to the video, The Minor Scale and Chords. So let's analyze our natural minor scale. Here we have minor third on the bottom, major third on top, minor, A minor. Here we have minor third, so it's B diminished. Here we have major, minor, C major, minor, major, D minor, minor, major, E minor, major, minor, F major, major, minor, G major, and finally again minor, major, A major. But we've already said that we have a different minor scale, the harmonic minor scale. In the harmonic minor scale, the 7th note is 1 semitone higher. The 7th note in the A minor scale is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It's G. So we're going to raise G 1 semitone, and that will be G sharp. We have a G here, we have one here, and we have one here. So I've highlighted the 3 chords that have now changed because of this G sharp. Let's have a look at them. Well, we had a C major here, but now look at the distance. Now we have 2 major thirds on top of each other. So this is a C augmented chord. Here we now have a major third on the bottom. So this is an E major chord. And here we have 2 minor thirds. So this is a diminished chord. Let's listen through this scale. So we talked before in the video on the harmonic minor about why you might use this alteration of the G. We usually will keep this augmented chord as a major by lowering that raised note. We can keep this major because it's totally fine. This diminished we can keep, but only if we're going somewhere with it. For example, if we're going back to this A chord, then that's fine. It sounds like we're finished. But if this was the last chord in the progression, we would probably change that back to a major chord. Are diminished chords or augmented chords ever useful in progressions? Yes, absolutely. I'm going to write a quick progression in the A minor key. So I've written in just a really simple progression, A minor, A minor, A minor, then I have B diminished, then D minor, and finally E major. So that's chord 1, chord 2, chord 4, and chord 5, going back to chord 1, and let's listen to it. It's not winning any awards anytime soon, but it illustrates how that sound of a diminished chord can be really exciting and want to move somewhere. Let's listen to it again and pay special attention to this chord. That chord wants to move. That's what brings the music along. If I just stopped it there, we're not finished. So we have to go back to a major or minor chord. But using a diminished chord in the middle of a chord progression is great to introduce interest. Are augmented chords ever used? Rarely. They're very dissonant and you don't encounter them as much as you encounter diminished chords. We could, for example, turn this into a C augmented from our A minor scale. But that augmented sound is very uncomfortable for us, and so we tend to avoid it. So your job now, write out the A minor, natural minor scale, write some chord progressions, include a diminished B chord in your progressions, and then play around with the other alterations like G sharp,